With me now is Liberal strategist Sabrina Grover. Sabrina, thanks so much for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We are a week away from the election. What do you think we're going to see during this final stretch over the next week?
I think in the final 7 days, one of the things that I would pay attention to is certainly the leaders' tour, because the leaders' tour is going to reflect where each of the parties believes there's the most movement to be had and where the tightest races are. So where the leaders are going to be going is going to certainly really reflect that. I think for Jagmeet Singh, I would pay extra attention to that. I think his seat is critically a seat that is possibly going to be lost by the NDP, but they need to maintain 12 seats across the country in order to maintain that official party status. So where does he spend his time? He had an okay performance at the debate. It knocked up his numbers just barely, but where Mr. Singh spends his time, I think, will be really fascinating compared to Mr. Poilievre and Mr. Carney.
Currently, Mark Carney and the Liberals are continuing to lead in the polls. What does Carney need to do ultimately, do you think, to maintain this lead over those last 7 days?
I think it was important that the Liberals and Carney released their platform right after the debate. I think that it allows some of that information to sink in, and it allows people on the ground to have a conversation that moves beyond just Donald Trump in the United States, although that remains the biggest threat and it remains the ballot box question. I think that for Mr. Carney, again, with that leaders tour, he's going to reach out to those candidates and to those ridings that are most tightest in contention and bring the message home for those candidates and those voting populations, right? Is it affordability that's the second thing on their mind? Is it housing that's on their mind? Is it economic growth and stability from a job perspective? And be able to bring that message to communities directly and just continue to be, I think, less Prime Minister Carney and more leader Carney.
We're hearing of a record number of people turning out in advanced polls, voting early. What do you think this indicates?
I think it indicates that Canadians are concerned with the threat that the United States and Donald Trump and the tariffs are going to be presenting to Canada, and they are ready to come out and cast their ballot for the person that they believe is best suited to handle that challenge. And according to the polls and according to, I think, not just the national polls that we're seeing, but the demographic breakdowns, the regional breakdowns, the breakdowns in metro areas, it looks like the Liberals are still substantially leading on that. I also think the one thing that it demonstrates is a lot of people have made up their minds. More than 2 million people voted on that first day of election, the first day of advanced polls, which means those people are set in their ways. They're ready to cast their ballot. They don't need the next 7 days to decide. And I think that's really important.
Liberal strategist Sabrina Grover, thanks so much for your time today. Appreciate it. 1 week out from Election Day.